Good evening.
Hello.
And welcome to Season 2, Episode 8 of the Beatroots podcast. It's the season finale.
It is the season finale. Exciting times.
So the best to last.
That's it. I'm Jamie.
I'm Chris.
And today, we're wrapping things up with a very special guest. It's Megan Wyn.
Woo!
Thank you for having me.
She's a Welsh singer-songwriter, taken the indie scene by storm. She's been performing gigs and festivals since she was 16 years old, including Kendall Calling and Great Escape. She's quickly becoming one of the most exciting new voices in indie music. Megan, welcome to Beatroots.
Thank you for having me.
That's a good
That's
intro,
very
that,
nice,
isn't
isn't
Yeah.
it? Need you everywhere with me.
Oh.
Hyping me up.
We love everyone's reactions to those, because some people are like, what, is that me?
Who's that?
So, yeah, thanks for coming down, Meg.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I suppose we'll start it where we start with everyone else. Like, what's your first memory of music? Why are you doing what you do now?
Ooh. To be fair, like, I've always wanted to do music.
Mhm.
Like, since I was a kid. I've never really liked anything else except music. I think my earliest memory was weirdly when I was like, I don't even think I was one, but it was always like to go to sleep and my dad would have to drive me around or my mum and like blast Nirvana in the car.
Right.
And I always remember like driving on the back roads, like in the back seat,
Yeah.
like trying to fall asleep to Nirvana. And
The dulcet tones of Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, honestly, full blast. Like that's the only thing that would put me to sleep as a kid. Weirdly, still have to sleep with music on now. So
Yeah. Is it still Nirvana now, or is it?
It's like I can't sleep to anything that's like relatively chilled.
Yeah.
Like
It keeps you up.
I need like noise.
Yeah.
Really?
Weird. Yeah.
That's interesting.
That is
Yeah.
interesting.
Anyone like if anyone comes to sleep in mine, they're like, Meg, please shut up. Like, no.
You with some headphones on, like
Yeah.
blasting.
Oh, too right. But yeah, but I've always wanted to do music. Like I've always sang since I was a kid. Like I used to make my whole family watch me perform like Rihanna and JLS.
Did you have dance routines to go with
yeah, everything. I had
You're a
like
professional, aren't you?
costume changes and everything.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it was. Yeah, I had an
Half-time
encore and
intervals.
everything. Yeah, it was real deal. Yeah, and then didn't really like actually think it was like anything you actually could do. Like for some reason, I was just sort of like pop stars were just born as pop stars kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, but when I was like 12. I think I like started training in opera and then was like qualified in that at like 14, 15 and really loved that, but didn't really want to do opera like as much as I love it and I still sing it at home and stuff, but I always like gravitated to all like guitar music and more stuff like that. I was in a band like with my cousins when I was like 12.
Family band.
We were awful, but I mean, you got
to start
we're
somewhere,
playing
though,
in Cardiff and stuff. Like,
Nice.
yeah. So, I mean, we were really bad though. Like,
How did you get into the opera stuff then? Is that something you found, or was it like a?
Well, it's kind of like in Wales, like it's always kind of like you do like more classical stuff. Like if you want to do music as like a profession, it's like more like I don't know, like orchestras and choirs
corporate,
and all that.
I suppose.
Yeah, like
something
it's
that
more,
will provide work.
Yeah, so that was kind of just like my in really of like trying to get into music in a more serious way rather than just like I like to sing songs. It was like just taking it more seriously than that. But I loved it. I didn't really want. I literally remember saying to my mum like, "Oh, I want to start like singing lessons, but I don't want to do opera." And she was like, "You can only do opera, so you're gonna have to do it." I was like, "All right," but I ended up loving it. So yeah, then joined a choir and loved it. Like we won like so many competitions and got to play like amazing like theatres and stuff across the UK, and it was just fun. Like
That's
it was. I really like grew my confidence with singing and stuff through being in a choir and doing opera, and yeah, I loved it.
How many gigs do you reckon you did?
Oh, loads! Like,
Really?
Yeah, we were so busy with choir. Like,
Was it
so
outside
busy.
of school?
Yeah, it was like a proper choir. We were like, we used to win like every competition, so we'd like from like competitions we'd then get booked to like play in other places, and it was like getting bigger and bigger. Like played at like the Royal Albert Hall in London and stuff.
Really?
It was like it was really good.
Mad.
Yeah,
Was it all competition stuff then, or was some of it
we
like
did like
events?
concerts.
Yeah.
I never did opera competitions like singing on my own. That was more just like concerts but it's mad. Like I used to sing in like so many different languages. It's just like I had no clue like what the songs were about. And I remember my opera coach Trace Maidon, who's like one of the best opera singers in the world, and I'm so lucky to like have been trained by him. He was always like, oh, you need to learn like the meaning of the songs, like you need to learn. So I used to go home and I'd have a week to learn the songs like between rehearsals, and it was like if I hadn't learned the song in a week, it was like but I used to like go home and like Google Translate like what the songs meant, and I was like, this is stupid, and like loads of them were just about like mad stuff, like
Really?
I remember this French song I had to sing and it was about like chickens, like just mad stuff, and I was
in
like,
what context? Like it's just about chickens?
it was
or?
about like this like guy that was like his whole life was like devoted to like looking after his chickens.
Wow.
It was mad.
Classic love song at heart, I suppose.
Yeah, but yeah, I was like, how am I meant to like perform this?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
How can you get into the headspace
yeah, I
of
was like, so I was
a
like
chicken
envisioning
mother?
like being a chicken farmer. But yeah, I loved it. And I'd love to do like kind of bring that back a bit, like
into what you're doing now?
yeah, not go full opera, but
Chicken songs. And that.
oh yeah, why not? But I always say like I'd love to get like the choir that I was on, that I was in, like, and Trace, my opera coach, like on a song or something one day, just like even if it's like a choir version of a song I've got, something for like a deluxe or something. But yeah,
Make a really fun, cool change, that one.
yeah.
Would you say
It'd be
like
fun.
being classically trained? Would you say it influences the songwriting process for you now, or would you say it's completely different?
I think I wouldn't say I like, because I've had to like compose like classical songs like when I was studying music and like doing all my grades and stuff, and it's like it's a completely different process to how I used to write them, because I don't actually write like the notes out and stuff. Like I don't write the scores to my own songs, just because I don't really work like that, and some people do, but I don't work like that. So, but I think it's definitely influenced me in the way of like I think of how things need to align more, like in more of a classical way, rather than just thinking like that sounds cool with that. It kind of like I just think of it more as like it needs to collectively sound nice together, not just like the guitar and the bass goes or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not every song, but especially like with like vocals and harmonies and stuff. It's I'm always like really particular with all that kind of stuff.
You say it's maybe more feeling then, on
Yeah,
rather than a properly thought out. It has to go.
I think it's like everything's. Not so much with the music. I'm kind of more free, spirited with that. But with like harmonies and stuff, I'm like, if one note is like slightly off, it like throws it all off for me. So
Like, no.
yeah, I'm like, no, that's the wrong one. Yeah, but I like that though. I think it's fun. Yeah, annoys my producer sometimes.
It's when you know what you want though, and when you can hear it as well. Like if you can hear it in your head before you start trying to put it down.
But sometimes it's like I don't actually know what I'm hearing, so then it's like I'm sitting there having a mental breakdown, going, "Oh, I don't know what it's meant to be."
Are you one of those that uses like very vague, random, descriptive words to do?
Oh,
we had a band on that was like, "Oh no, we need it to sound more purple," and the producer managed to work that out.
Yeah, my honestly, like, even though I'm classically trained and like, I don't know how Alex Quinn, my producer, like knows how my brain works. Like, honestly, it's mad. Like the way I went into like a session once and I was like, this needs to sound like David Lynch, and he was like, what do you mean? I was like, I want Twin Peaks in a song and it has to sound like that. And he was like, all right, okay. And I was like showing like this scene, and I was like, the guitar part needs to look like this scene. And he was like, Yeah, I get what you mean.
It needs to look like this.
But you get what I mean. And like, yeah, and like the vision came to life. So
Nice.
yeah,
Good producer, I suppose. That,
Yeah.
we've had some love for Alex Quinn on here. So
oh,
it was,
love him.
yeah. Back when quite early in what we'd call your journey or your career, you did a gig with fellow Welsh legend Jack Jones, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, it was mad. Like, I was that was like my first gig really as like me, like as the artist.
Yeah.
Like I kind of am now, but yeah, it was mad. Like I've loved trampoline for ages, and like they've always like been a big thing in Wales, and I've always loved Jack's like poetry.
Yeah.
And when I was like starting to write music, I always used to listen to them and just think like his lyrics are just so good. Like he's just so clever with the way he writes.
Yeah.
And then I was just like posting like covers in lockdown, and I released Polaroid, which is not out anymore, but still play it live, so it's fine. But yeah, and then I just like this feeling was just like, oh, do you want to come to Manchester and support trampoline? And I was like, oh my
Hell
God.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was yeah, it was sick. Like I played it with, I had a band for that gig, and like that was like before I went acoustic for a bit and then back to a band. But it was like my friends from school, and we all used to like listen to trampoline all the time, and yeah, it was cool. Like, and I remember being a bit like starstruck, like meeting him, because I was like, he was like the first like person really I met in music, and I was like, oh my God, I like, because I admired him so much at the time, still do. But
He's such a cool guy, isn't he?
Yeah, such a nice guy as well. Like
Yeah.
he's just got heart gold, and I remember, and then I supported him in Cardiff, which was it Cardiff? Yeah, somewhere like that. Yeah, it was Cardiff, and yeah, it was just like so nice to. That was like my first time playing to like a Welsh crowd, really. So it was like nice to get to like support a really well-known Welsh band in Cardiff for the first time. So yeah, it was great, and
Nice.
like he gave me such good advice, and every time I see him, he's always like giving me advice and stuff, and he's just lovely.
He is, yeah. So you started around, because I remember seeing your name come up a lot, like in and around lockdown. I can't remember if it was just before or during.
Yeah, so I picked up a guitar in lockdown. Just kind of like, I had a few lessons, but then lockdown hit.
So you hadn't played much before that?
No, not at all. Like literally like a month before lockdown, I think I had like 3 or 4 lessons.
Just by pure chance?
Instrument.
Like...
Yeah, just like randomly, and then obviously lockdown happened. And yeah, so I just taught myself through like YouTube.
Yeah.
And like whilst I was like learning, I was like learning a song at a time, and then I was like doing a cover of that song and then posting it on like Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and I used to get like 200,000 views on Facebook for some mad reason. And then I was doing like live streams and stuff, and like that's kind of how I got like noticed by like This Feeling and stuff. And I actually met Andrew Cushion through like posting like covers and stuff, and then he showed my music to This Feeling. And then I just started getting gigs then when like lockdown lifted. But it literally felt like I went from like playing like learning guitar and playing in my bedroom like at the start of the year to like a year later I was like going on tour with like Trampoline, like at 16. Like I was still in school and stuff, like when I was like supporting Trampoline, and like when we did like the All Together Now thing with Scots. Like I remember I had to like pretend I was sick in school because my attendance was so low, because I used to just like not go in because it wasn't like a very musical school, so I used to like just not go because I was like, oh well, I don't want to do any of that anyway, so
this isn't going to help me
so I just never used to go. But yeah, so my attendance was like 60% or something, like really bad. Mum used to get phone calls all the time like, Megan's not turned up to school today. And Mum was like, God,
she's in Cardiff with Trampoline.
yeah,
tell me about it.
And then and then I remember like just being like, oh, I'm not going to be in on Thursday because I'm going to Liverpool to record like with like Jamie Webster and like the Lavins. And
what
all
was the
that.
song that
All Together Now, The Farm, and it was like a shoot for like Scots Menswear as well, and like for the Euros,
right?
And they were just like, oh, well, you can't do that on a school day. And I was like, well, I can't move the shoot.
I can't ask everyone to move to a weekend.
So, yeah, I pulled a sickie and then I got a detention for a week then for being on school.
Best reason though,
I
isn't
was
it?
like, well, you know.
What are you in here for?
Yeah.
But then it all came out and then they were like, oh, well done. And I was like, nope, you don't get to tell me well done.
Yeah. Oh, you tried to
thank you guys.
stop this.
Thanks for the support.
I suppose in a weird way then, like lockdown was quite good for your musical career then, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think like lockdown like just did so much good for me. Because I just like, I mean, there was nothing to do on Anglesey anyway, but
on a good day.
Yeah. But like being locked in somewhere, it was just like, it just meant that like all my focus just went on like bettering myself as a musician and like learning how to write songs, and like I read loads, and it was just like it like really opened my mind up to like what I actually wanted to do. And and I like wrote like a lot of the songs that I still play now sometimes like in lockdown, and like just really kind of, I had just that time to like kind of get to know myself as a musician more, that I probably like wouldn't have had the time otherwise, because I was like doing my GCSEs. So
pretty
I would have been
full
like, you know, more focused on that rather than but I just had loads of free time, and obviously no one was doing like online school.
Skipping
like,
real school, skipping online school.
So yeah, I'm glad it happened. So
yeah,
and I think like I always think like it's mad. I probably would have picked up a guitar, but I don't know if I actually like would be playing guitar in front of people and stuff if it wasn't for lockdown. So
if you didn't have all the time around,
so yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, going back to Anglesey, you moved to Manchester. When was it that you moved?
A month before I was 17, so September 2021. So just after lockdown.
So it must have been a massive change, like going from a small place like Anglesey to Manchester.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most challenging part of that transition, going from such a small area to
Do
Manchester?
You know what? I always wanted to live in a city when I was a kid. Like my dad is in the army and had lived in London and stuff like my whole life. But I'd say like the hardest part, and looking back at this now, like it was hard to settle in somewhere, but I think that happens even if you live in a big city and you're moving to a different city. Like that's just normal. But I think the hardest part was like people from home not really understanding why you're doing it, and like
thinking
not trying to hold you back, but kind of being like kind of second guessing, like, oh, are you sure you want to do that? Like that's such a big step, rather than like being, but that's just because like obviously it's such a small place, and like people don't really leave it that often. So it's like when someone does something that's like completely like not normal there, they're all a bit like, ooh,
rocks the boat.
Are you alright? But no, and I guess like that was not hard, but it was like kind of hard to like reassure myself, because everyone was like, oh, are you sure? So it was like, oh, yourself, but I liked it. Like it took me some time to settle in, but like
you didn't exactly come to a normal Manchester as well though at that time, did you?
No.
Suppose, like post lockdown, wasn't...
and like I wasn't 18, so like I couldn't really like go out, although I did, but
just cut that
out. Somehow managed, but so it was like, it was just so different, and like what I'd do on a day-to-day basis at home, like you couldn't do that here. Like I was just like going to the beach, like that's just what I'd do, like, and then go home, I'd play guitar, I'd just dirty canal. God, with some like man fishing in the canal, trying to get all the cans out. But so it was just a different life, and like a different pace of life, and but I love it here, and I just think if I probably never would like have moved, I probably wouldn't be doing music, because I just like, I needed kind of like that inspiration of like being around creative people and like-minded people, and just like a city that's like you can be anyone, you can be whoever you want, and no one actually cares. Whereas like at home it's very much, only because it's a small place and it's kind of like tradition. If someone's like slightly different, it's like everyone knows
Yeah,
that you're
yeah.
different,
Uh-huh.
kind of thing,
Uh-huh.
which is like not a bad thing or anything, but
Happens a lot of small
you
places,
know,
don't it? It's
yeah,
similar
it's
in Burnley.
just, yeah, but love my hometown still.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, it's just a different life, and I'm glad I came when I was young, because like I literally left school and then came here, so I think like I just learned like this way of living, like going into adulthood, rather than like going into adulthood like in a completely different place and then coming here
then
later,
trying to
like
change it.
yeah.
Was
So
there anything
I'm glad.
specific that you did move? Like, did you carry on education over here, or was
Yeah,
it?
so I went to like a music college, and I go to a music uni now. So
Which one you at?
just up him, but
Nice.
yeah, I do business. So yeah, it was kind of that, but like more so just like so I could be. I mean, like Anglesey's so far away from everywhere as well.
Yeah.
So when I was playing gigs, like it would take us like 5 hours just to get anywhere.
Yeah.
So like, you know, it's an extra 2 hours. Like it's 2.5 hours from here. So if we were playing Leeds, it was like 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
And then like London was like 7 hours.
Wow.
Cardiff was like 6 hours. So
Really?
it's like, you know, it's like
Is there
nowhere
a-
was close.
Is there any music scene in Anglesey? Like,
Not now. Megan's left.
yeah.
Not really. There is, but it's very like Welsh music,
Okay, yeah.
and which is great. And there's a very like big like opera scene and like classical. It's just a different scene. There's not like there's a massive like techno scene there as well, which is
Really?
weird. Like they all love raves there.
I would have never
like
expected that.
honestly, yeah, there's some really good DJs like from Anglesey that it's just great. Like really good nights there, but yeah, there's not really like what I wanted to do there, which is kind of why I left, like just because you can't really make a scene out of nothing. Like you can't really, you know, grow if there's nothing to grow on. But yeah, hopefully there will be one day. That's like I'd love to like make my own festival or something there.
Yeah.
In the Malden. Hopefully.
Anglesey Fest. Yeah.
Hell
Make
yeah.
Fest.
So tell us a little bit about the songwriting process. When you're writing songs, like, would you say your music first, lyrics first? Like,
I'm
how's it go?
always lyrics first.
Okay.
Weirdly.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think everyone else kind of writes the music first, but I think because I've always written poetry, and like before I wrote music really, I just like, I'm always writing poetry like on my phone, like I'm always thinking of words and I'm always reading and stuff. So I think like that just comes to me first, and then
Naturally.
yeah, but oftentimes like I'll just like sing melodies all the time, and then I'll just like I kind of always write like the top line melody and the words before like the rest of the music, like, and then I'll like write like the chords and then like the rest of the music. But it's different every time really. Like some songs though I've written like the full chorus, like drums and everything, and then like 6 months later I've done like the rest of the song.
Yeah.
But it just depends. Like I write a lot with Alex Quinn. So when I write with him, like sometimes I'll just go in with like, here's my book of words.
You sound like David Lynch.
Yeah, like, he's like my therapist, honestly. I go in and we have like a 2-hour crying session, and then I'm like, right, so this is what all these like lyrics mean.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
Let's
what we're
do
just
it.
talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll just kind of like, sometimes like he'll have this like cool guitar riff and we'll work around that, or sometimes I like have like a verse and like a chorus or a middle eight or something, and we'll just build on it like that. But when I'm on my own, I kind of write the whole song. Like,
Do you go into the studio with the band much, or is it
No,
usually
just
you
me
and
and
just you and Alex?
Quinn, yeah, always.
Nice.
I don't like a crowded studio. I'm like, get away. Yeah, I just like it like that. Like it's just
You work best
easier.
like that,
Yeah, it's less stress. No offense to any musicians.
No,
but
I think we'd all be the
my
same.
band are great, but I just like the way we work at the minute. So there's no reason to change it. So that's not to say like that in the future maybe like my live band won't play with me live, but at the minute I'm happy. Oh yeah.
You tell us a little bit about the band, like where.
So
How
I've
long have you
actually
all
got a
been
new
together?
band.
Have you
now.
actually?
Yeah.
Is it the one you played with at Year's End?
Yes, that was our first gig.
Was it your first one?
Yeah, we'd only had 2 practices.
Oh, really?
And it was like the sound just kept cutting out on stage, but it's fine.
Brilliant.
It's fine.
You played through it, you wouldn't have known.
Thank God
a
for
true
that.
professional.
Yeah, it was kind of like, that was kind of like throwing us in the deep end. We'd had like 2 rehearsals. And like it was a line check, not an actual sound check. And then we were like, and then my guitar just kept cutting out, and I was like, oh, but it was fine. It was, and then we played with CVC like a few days after, and that was just a miles better gig.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're just like, they're in uni with me, and my drummer's called George, my guitarist is called Brad, and they're lovely lads. Yeah, that's.
So have you known them long? Sorry.
No, literally like so. I've recently had a new manager, and he basically found them for me, and we just clicked straight away. Now we're best friends.
Nice.
But yeah, it's really nice. Like I think it's really important to have like a really good band around. Not just even like musician wise. I think it's easy to find good musicians, but people like you work well with, you click with.
Half the battle, that in it.
Like that are like professional, that like learn the songs, and it's like it's just like. It's very easy with them. So, yeah, they're good lads.
Nice.
Very excited.
Have you ever had anyone, just on a bit of a tangent, you ever had anyone that you have found difficult and, like, not necessarily not got on with, but have found it difficult to be like,
I think...
these are the songs?
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I have had that, but...
You don't have to...
but I think that's just a case of, like, people just work differently.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, not worked.
Creative differences.
Yeah, and I think just my band are like session musicians, so I think like some people don't want to be session musicians, they want to be part of a band, they want to write together and stuff, which is fine, but that's just not what I'm doing. Yeah. And it's...
You set that stall out as well, it's not a surprise to anyone when
and it's like, you know, I've wanted to be a solo artist, so, you know, but it's... Yeah. Nothing too bad, but just like I think just like not being on the same page with stuff. But that's just that's bound to happen though. Like you know, when you're working with someone like creatively, you're bound to like butt heads sometimes.
Yeah, just tell me about it. So your most recent release at the time of this recording was "Waiting for a Reason."
Yes.
In May 2024.
Yes.
Have you got any more new music on the
have.
You're always writing, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm writing all the time at the minute, actually. But I've got loads of songs coming up this year, which I'm very excited about. First in a few weeks.
Oh, nice.
I think. But I'm in the studio like in the next 2 weeks, so very excited getting all the songs recorded.
Do you bulk up when you go into the studio? Are you like, you've got
sometimes,
like a few that you...
Yeah, I'm recording 3 in a few days. So, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'll like they're the ones I'll release. It's just kind of like I've still got songs that I've already recorded that I just like haven't released. Yeah. So it's
a good position to be in that. I mean,
I
most bands live
easier.
Like song by song, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's just I've done that before, and when I've been like dead busy and realised, oh, I don't actually have time to go back to the studio, but I need to release, so it's just easy to get like a few under your belt, so you can actually just release when you need to release. But I'm really excited. I love all these songs that's coming out. So
nice. Yeah,
I've been playing like 1 or 2 of them live, and they've like had a good reception. Is that the word? I don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
But
I think it works.
Yeah, people have enjoyed it, so
good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what people's reactions. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I'm really excited. So excited to get back in the studio as well. Needing a well-needed therapy session with Alex Quinn.
Get it all out.
Whereabouts is his studio?
At Kempston Street Studios in Liverpool.
Right.
Yeah, it's great in there. It's mad. It's always like it's like a cafe in there, and every time you go and get a coffee, like there's just like someone famous there. It's mad. Like there's always someone like in the main studio. So yeah, I've seen some mad people in there. But,
who have you seen?
I see like the Coral all the time, obviously, because it's like their studio.
Is it down the road? Sorry, from what was Parr Street?
Kind of.
Because Alex Quinn was at Parr
Street.
So
it was like everyone that was at the old Parr Street is here now.
Right. Okay.
But it's great. I've seen loads of people. See Blossoms like all the time.
Just talking about making brews and
yeah, it's like I can't remember who I saw. Like Circa Waves, see them all the time in there as well. But it's like dead awkward, like in the kitchen, where it's like you're making a brew and it's like, oh, anyone want a brew? It's like, you know. But yeah, everyone said nice there though. Like, you know, all the bands are they're chatty.
yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's such a nice vibe in there. Like everyone always helps everyone. Like they just come and say hi to.
It sounds like a good community.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, and it's like, you know, we all just like share guitars and stuff. Like, I'm always like, oh, can I borrow that guitar that James Skelly has? Yeah, but yeah, it's such a good vibe. I love it.
Nice. Is that piano still? There was a piano in Parr Street, wasn't it? That like Chris Martin.
I think it's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I never really record in the main room, because we just do it in Alex's little room. Just because there's not really a point in us because there's only two of us. So, but yeah, I think the piano is there, but the main room is so good. Like it's so sick.
Is it?
Yeah, definite. Like it's unreal. Love it.
Probably like history. Well, I suppose there's less history in that room now, but
yeah, but it's like all the equipment has got like so much history and like even now like there's so many music that has been done there since it's like open. Like all, like the New Blossoms album was done there.
Oh really?
Like
Love that album.
Miles Kane's album, like the Corals, new stuff I think. Loads of people.
That's
like
a proper CV, that isn't it?
Yeah,
like, just rattling
yeah,
off.
really good. Circa Waves, like Brooke Combe.
Yeah.
Yeah, loads of good stuff. Jamie Webster, like Lavums. Yeah,
Wow.
really good.
A good place for you to be in at then as well.
Yeah,
like, how long have
definitely.
you been going to Alex Quinn then?
Like 3 years.
Right.
Been working with him since I was 17. So yeah, it was like I was like so against like writing with other people, but I was like, oh, I'll do it, and then just loved it. Like, yeah.
Hit the ground running with him though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think he's taught me so much about writing as well.
Have you been many other studios before that?
I've recorded at one or two. I've recorded at Moat Museum in Liverpool, which is gorgeous.
Nice.
Like such a gorgeous studio. And my earliest stuff when I lived in Wales, I did with Russ Hayes in Orange, which is like where like Catfish did their stuff.
Right.
So yeah, nice
Been
fun.
some decent places then.
Yeah.
But you found somewhere that works for you.
Spending a lot
like,
of money.
Yeah.
it's not a cheap game, is it?
God, no, not at all.
So we've got a game to play.
Ooh.
It's called Myth or Riff.
Gorgeous.
Okay, and it's a
True or false?
true or false. I always get that wrong. I always
Yeah.
say true or dare. True or false game about music.
All right.
Okay.
Oh God, I'm awful at stuff like this.
So we've got a few different statements, and you have to say if it's either a myth or if it's a riff. If it's true
Right.
or false.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to start?
Hang on, you need to say it the other way around. It's myth or riff is false or true.
Oh.
Which every time we say it now, it made them like. So it is true or false.
Riff or myth?
We have called it. Yeah, we have called it myth or riff. But myth is false.
Right.
Riff is true.
Okay.
That's taken us 8 episodes to explain that. I bet people are going mad. All 7 people are going mad.
Do you want to start?
I will start. Yeah. So here we go. We need some dramatic music over the top of this, which I'm sure someone will sort out. Right. So question 1. Lady Gaga wrote "Telephone" for Britney Spears, who turned it down.
Riff?
Oh, she's going straight in. No
Straight
thought,
in there,
no thought,
straight
no
in
nothing.
there.
That is a riff.
Yeah.
That is a riff.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I love Lady Gaga.
She's cool.
I think she's very cool.
Yeah.
So, although I didn't actually know that, but that sounds like something that, yeah. I feel like she's always like overlooked as an artist. Like she's an amazing songwriter.
And she's a good actor as well, I think.
Yeah, amazing. And her voice is just insane. Like,
how many
I know
films has she done? She did
done
the
quite a few.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I've
it was
still not
called.
seen that film.
I've not seen it actually.
It's
No.
meant to be amazing.
No.
Though.
Yeah.
And House of Gucci as well.
Yes.
That's quite a good film.
Yeah, that's a good
And
film.
then the new Joker.
Yeah, that's not quite a good film, I don't think.
No.
I've
you
not
seen
seen it. No, it kind of
Um,
put me off that it's a musical.
Yeah.
Oh, is
Like,
it?
The first one
yeah.
I thought was just
amazing,
a masterpiece, but like the second one, yeah.
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 Hmm.
Okay, so the second one, the Spice Girls
Hmm.
once released a line of bubblegum flavours to match their personalities.
Myth. Really? Stop doing that face. No, you're making me second guess.
That is a riff.
Really?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
No way.
Yeah, and I had to Google that, and
That's mad.
We do fact check these because they sound mad.
and yeah, they're like little bubble gums and little.
No way.
People are selling them on eBay. So
Oh, I can imagine
that's
like
cool.
for like thousands.
Sporty Spice tastes like
Ooh.
sweat.
Yeah, for your
We don't know what the flavours are.
I was gonna say.
We just know
like,
it's true.
what?
No, I
Yeah.
don't know. Right, here we go. Question 3. Elvis Presley was buried with a peanut butter and banana sandwich in his coffin.
Oh, that would be mouldy, wouldn't it?
No one's going to go and eat it now. I bet his body doesn't look very good either.
Yeah, true. I'm gonna say it's a myth.
It is a myth.
Oh, thank God.
There we go. 2 out of 3.
No rotten sarnies anywhere.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't want any of that in mine.
no.
Oh,
Oof. Ed Sheeran's guitar has a name. Lloyd.
I'm gonna say that's a riff because I name all my guitars.
You name your guitars?
Yeah,
What are they called?
Fernando, my Fender Jaguar,
Okay.
Nice.
and then Florence is my little white Fender Malibu.
Ah,
Yeah.
Nice.
Fernando and Florence. It is a riff.
I suppose that's no surprise then, is it? Like, if the best do it, I mean.
Do you know what's weird though? Like I like actually refer to them as their names rather than
Pass me Fernando.
pass me Fernando rather than can you get my jag?
Bob, where's Fernando?
Someone stolen Fernando.
Right, here we go. Final question. Now, this is a big one. I don't want to put too much pressure on it, but this will be for a tie at the top of the leaderboard. Oh, there is a leaderboard, by the way.
Gorgeous. I hope
Yeah.
I'm winning.
You're on track to be joint top with literally everyone apart from Idyllic. So
Fuming.
we're questioning the difficulty of the questions, but so final question. Pink has an annual competition to see who can drink more beer, her or her crew.
I'm gonna say riff.
Well,
Oh
here we go. It is a myth.
no!
Oh, and he's put some really
I'm
sad
down there
music.
with Idyllic now.
Are you actually still above them?
Oh, thank
So
God.
you got 3 out of 5 there. So I think
I could
middle
imagine
two.
her doing that though.
There was another
Yeah.
Pink question that we had. That I think
Although
was
maybe
true.
she'd be a bit sick after all that flying around.
I know. Imagine how big a crew is. Like, she'd have, like
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, I didn't think about that.
Unless the crew are all individual, like
Yeah.
competitors.
Yeah, that's
But if
fine.
one
Eventually.
wins, they all win.
But then there's probably like 80 of them.
Yeah.
Like a whole touring party.
I like
So,
yeah.
like,
1 in
she's
80
gonna
people
outdrink
must be
80
absolute
people.
alcoholic. Yeah, it's
yeah.
no.
I
I mean,
mean, fair play. She does.
she doesn't do it anyway. So
Devastating.
no,
If I ever meet Pink, that's what's happening.
you're gonna drink her under the table. Right, here we go. Back to the fun stuff.
Gorgeous.
Unless you found that more fun. So going back to last year, we actually caught you at Why Not, and you were playing Kendall that same
I
weekend as
was.
well. So Why Not and Kendall in the same weekend is quite some milestone. How exciting and stressful was that for you?
Both exciting and both very stressful.
Yeah, equally.
Both stressful. Yeah, well, we were camping at Kendall, so we just like absolutely killed ourselves off by the Sunday when we were playing Kendall.
Mhm.
But it was such a great gig. Like, it was like probably the biggest stage I've played Kendall.
The calling out tent, you
Yeah, I was like
Big tent.
a bit of imposter syndrome. I was like, why am I here? But I didn't realise how actually big it was until I got there, and I was like, oh my God, this is massive. And we were clashing with Red Rum Club at like 2 p.m. on a Sunday. I was like, oh my God, there's gonna be no one there. I like had a panic attack in the in my
bet,
cabin
yeah.
like before. I was like, oh my God.
No one's gonna
Literally
come.
like cried my makeup off. But
Good
honestly,
turnout though.
it was amazing. There was like thousands of people there. It was great.
Oh, I mean, there's
Like,
a lot of people go
thousands,
to that.
There was hundreds of people there. It was packed, and yeah, it was mad. I was like shaking for like an hour after, like just adrenaline was nuts. But
What did you find out you were playing first? Why Not or Kendall?
Kendall, so that was like, well, I announced it like this time last year. So yeah, it was nuts. I was trying to like Google like the stage and stuff, but it looked like way smaller online than it actually is.
They always
Like,
do. Even the main
so-
stage looks not
but-
massive on
Yeah,
a
it was
picture.
nuts. It was such a good weekend. And then I went to watch Temples after I played, and they're like my favourite band. And I'd
Wow.
never seen them before. And then I met them, and I was like, God,
Oh,
it's sick.
What a Sunday.
Yeah, and Why Not was great as well. I was like, we were playing at like 7 or 8 p.m, I think. So
You were on before us, weren't you?
Yeah, I think so.
It was like
yeah.
after 9. It was quite late. It
Yeah,
felt
was
quite
late.
late.
And like I was clashing with someone, and on the main stage, like the Kooks or someone like that. I think. And I was just like, oh my God, there's going to be no one there. But it was good turnout still, and Why Not's great.
There's a lot of good people that go to Why Not for the artists like yourselves.
Yeah, definitely. And same with Kendall, like, that's in, like, Truck Festival and all that. Like, it's, even though you're playing, like, a smaller stage and you are probably going to clash with someone big, like, you kind of know there's always going to be someone there, because, like, a lot of people go to, like, them kind of festivals and don't even go near to the main stage.
Yeah.
And just like, especially
the
like
real
this
heroes
feeling tent, like they all go to just and stay in this feeling tent all day, which is, you know, very nice of them. I wouldn't be doing that.
Go see some proper bands.
I'm joking.
I'm joking. Yeah, we're all joking.
But yeah.
This gets back to George and Mikey.
Yeah.
We've got no jobs left.
But no, I love festival season, and you know, it was such a good weekend, and yeah.
Who did the driving?
My mum. Yeah.
Good old Neris.
And yeah, good old Neris. In the little, oh no, we were in the Peugeot then, to be fair, like an estate Peugeot, but there was like 5 of us crammed in a car. It was a lot. And like obviously we, like camping, like weren't like sleeping very well because everyone was up partying, because obviously no one. I mean, I don't know why we went to Kendal on a Thursday when we weren't playing until Sunday, but oh well.
Oh, so you went Kendal on the Thursday, came back for Why Not,
on Friday,
went back to
Kendal that night, and then played Sunday, came back on Monday.
That's mad.
What's the distance between Kendal and Why Not?
Well, we thought it was about an hour. This is why we did that.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah. And then I remember putting it. Luckily,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why. That was my fault though, because I said to my mum, "It's fine. It's only like an hour and a half."
Yeah, we'll just nip down and come back.
It was like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
God.
So like we played, and then we were like, Shy FX was playing Friday night at Kendal, and Reese, my drummer at the time, was like, "We have to get back in time for it." Because like we love like dance music and stuff, so we're like, we have to be back. Missed him by like 10 minutes, because it took us like 4 hours to get back. So we got on the road like straight away, because we also didn't know like what time Kendal actually closed, so letting people in.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh no, like we're gonna have to go literally straight after we played. Got there. Also, like the artist camping is so far from the actual festival,
miles away, innit?
Like there was no shuttle bus at that time, so we had to just like walk. It's like a mile walk. Yeah, it was rough, and we missed Shy FX, so devastating.
I mean, it is great getting these offers to play festivals, isn't it? But when it doesn't quite work out for exactly how you want it, you're like, oh, this is rubbish.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was one of my favourite weekends of last year. Yeah, very good.
So what's the story behind becoming the face of Everton Football Club's away kit?
Oh God. So I've always been an Everton fan. I was literally forced into it when I was a kid. So everyone's like, "Why Everton? You're not even from Liverpool." Like,
Yeah.
Sore subject.
Don't judge me. Don't judge.
No, love Everton, but you know,
difficult at the minute.
At the minute, all my life. Yeah. So always like, I played football when I was a kid, like all the time and stuff, and love football. I used to go to Goodison all the time, and then they just like emailed my manager at the time and was like, "Hi, like we're doing a campaign for the away kit. Does Megan like want to be the face of it?" And I was like, "Surely not. Like, like why would they want me? Like, no." But yeah, and then we did it, and I had to be in Liverpool at like 4 a.m. I was getting my hair and makeup done in a car park, because like we were shooting it around Liverpool. Obviously we had to do it like early hours in the morning, so like when it wasn't busy, because we couldn't like get the kit like leaked anywhere.
Right.
So it was like, it was mad. And I remember like we had these like massive coats on over us like at all times, and then like we'd had to like shoot, but then there was this like one guy that was like watching us through the window, so we had to like move location, and it was like,
my God.
yeah, it was a bit of like faff, but it was great. I loved it, and yeah, I was mad, and I didn't really know when they were announcing it, like the date, and I remember I was at Truck Festival, and then for some reason I just got service all of a sudden, and my phone had like 200 like notifications, and I was like, why am I like who's messaging me? And it was like loads of people from home like messaging. Going,
so it had gone live that week. And
yeah, and everyone was like, what is this? And I was like, oh yeah. But yeah, it was mad. My dad couldn't believe it. He was like, that's great, but why are you doing it? I was like, thanks, Dad.
Had you done like much posting about Everton or like?
I play the fan zone sometimes, and but yeah, I've always like been quite vocal about Everton, and I've worn like Everton, like vintage Everton tops on stage and stuff. Like I wore, I think maybe my second Isle of Wight, I think I wore like this, like I think it was from the 90s, like this like limited edition away kit they had. I think it was an away kit. I can't remember which one I wore, but I remember
cool.
like
it was memorable, yeah.
So yeah, just like they just kind of like just see me on Twitter and stuff, and
decent.
Yeah.
Not bad things that, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's very cool to get to work with Everton.
A peek behind the curtain as well of how unflattering it can be of having to be up that early, sneaking around.
I'm not an early person at all. An early person? A morning person.
Not a morning person.
I like, yeah, it was horrible. I'm such a grumpy person in the morning as well, so sorry to the makeup artist. And it was freezing as well, like freezing. Cause
what time of year was it?
I think we shot it in like April, May, but it was like 4 a.m, like 5 a.m.
It's
in
very
a car
rarely warm,
park outside.
Uh-huh.
Like, so cold. But it was so cool.
Wow.
Like we were using these like vintage cars and stuff, and like the concept was like I think it was like we'd just driven home, like we'd been out or something.
Yeah.
Like in the 90s, like driving home from like a festival and then going straight to the game kind of thing. So it was fun. Like,
yeah,
and like I would never wear the outfits they put me in. So it was fun to like
big
wear
baggy popper trackies and stuff.
Yeah, like bright pink. I was like, ooh. No, but it was fun.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I got these trainers for free. So just a battered Ronaldo.
Yeah, you did get them like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So should we throw it back to not quite the 90s, but back to the start of your gigging career? Like, what was your first ever gig like?
So I played like quite a few gigs with my old band when I was like with my cousins. Just like, I mean, we couldn't even play in pubs because we were like 12. So it was like functions and stuff. Hated it. Like I've always hated stuff like that. Like I hate playing in a pub. I've only done it like a few times, thankfully, but it's just not for me.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
And then I played, the first festival I played was in Trill, and it was just before lockdown. Actually, I couldn't play anything, and they just asked me like, oh, do you want to, like, I can't remember who was playing, like, I think Carl Cox was playing, which is like mad, and like Cast maybe. I remember Clint Boone being there.
Yeah.
It was like quite an alright lineup, like for it being like North Wales, and you know nothing happens
Yeah.
there. So it's like, but they were like, oh, do you want to come and do covers? And I literally got like karaoke versions of songs like from YouTube, and like put it on a CD and like gave that to the sound guy, and there was like 5 people there. But that was my first gig. Well, it's mad because that was where I went to my like first gig, like as a like
going to a gig.
Go into a gig.
Yeah.
It was McFly when I was like 5.
Oh,
So yeah, I was like, oh, but yeah, but I don't really class that as my like first gig because I like literally hadn't written any songs or anything yet. So, but that gig I did with Trampoline at Breadshed was like my first gig properly as like me. But yeah,
that's not a bad first gig.
I know, and
we
then
have some nightmare
like,
first gigs on here, but it sounds pretty.
Yeah, I'm quite lucky like that. But I think that was just due to COVID though. Like I think because I was posting so much during COVID, it kind of like
snowballed.
I didn't have to like do like the pub thing, which I'm glad, because I think if I would have done that, I don't think I'd be a musician, because I would have just put me on.
There's some alright pubs out there.
Yeah,
but there's
also
some
like
difficult
people coming up to you going, can you play this song?
Yeah,
no.
it's
Play Wonderwall.
Yeah, no.
No, I can, but I'm not.
Yeah, like, no. Yeah, I've done a few pub gigs, but, like, I only like my mate's pub, so, like, if I know the owner or something.
So what would you say is the best gig venue that you've played?
Oh.
Royal Albert Hall must be up
Yeah,
there.
I know,
like,
yeah.
It's...
Yeah, but I don't think of that as, like, myself.
Yeah.
Because that was, like, I mean, ages ago.
They'll be gutted to hear that the Royal Albert Hall's
I
not
know,
top of your...
I think, well, no, amazing, obviously.
yeah, I
I'd
bet,
love
yeah.
to do it, obviously. I'd love to do it
Uh-huh,
now, going back there. But, like, if I was to do it again, I'd bring my choir. Like, and that would just be, like, really cool. I loved playing the Ritz. That was really cool.
Who was that with?
Sandara Karma. Split Sandara Karma there.
Nice.
I loved them growing up, so that was cool.
Mm.
I was like, I don't know, like, I prefer festivals. Like, I think it's just not a better vibe, but you kind of don't know what you get with a festival. Whereas, like, with a gig, you kind of, like, you can tell, like, what, like, the age demographic, like, is going to be, like, depending on, like, what the band is, and you kind of know what kind of crowd to expect a bit more.
Certain magic at a festival, isn't there?
Yeah, so it's, like, kind of, like, more on a whim, I guess, festivals and stuff. But I don't know, I love playing King Tut's as well. That was, like,
King
really
Tut's.
cool. That
Iconic.
was, yeah, my first gig in Glasgow was there. So, yeah, just, like, Deaf Institute as well.
God,
like,
yeah.
Deaf Institute,
Yeah.
that was sick. Just, I don't know, I like a lot of, maybe, like, not even, like, the biggest gigs. I just like places that have a lot of history and, like, loads of, like, bands that I've played. I've also played in some venues that I've played, so...
Yeah.
Bands that I've played, bands that I like, I mean. So, yeah, just, there's a lot. I don't even remember half the venues I've played. Club Ifor Bach is a big one for me in Cardiff. Like, I feel like that's, like, the heart of the Wales music scene.
Yeah.
And so I've played that a few times.
Having your name on that list there is quite special.
Like, I played there with the K's, Trampoline, a few other people as well. So it's like, it's not even like a big venue, but it's an iconic venue in Cardiff, and it's an iconic venue for Welsh music as well, and just like the Welsh music scene in general. So
Nice.
Yeah.
So I suppose on the flip side of that, like, what's the worst gig experience you've had? Not having to name any names or venues, but a gig you'd like to forget that we're going to make you talk about.
There's a few, to be fair, like, but I think they kind of just make you stronger. Like, I mean, the worst ones is just like men being weird in the crowd, like shouting.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't happen.
Like
as much
heckling,
now.
kind of trying to.
Yeah, like when I was an acoustic act, I used to get like men just being like really weird. Like,
Really?
used to just shout like really sexual stuff at me whilst I was on stage.
Oh,
So like,
awful.
yeah, weird. Like, and then like I'd walk off stage and I'd be like, I've bought you a drink. And I'm like, thanks, don't want it.
Yeah.
Like 17 at the time, like, you know. Yeah, just that kind of thing. Like,
That's
it doesn't happen.
Shame, like, because some of the bad gig experiences we chat about are like broken guitar.
Yeah,
but,
that happens
but that's
a lot.
Part,
yeah,
but I mean, it's part of it that
I
a lot of people know about, but a lot of people don't actually know how.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of like, but it doesn't happen as much now that I play with the band, obviously, because like there's no point in shouting it 'cause I won't hear because like the music's too loud. But especially like when I was an acoustic act, like when I was supporting like bands with like very like male dominated like crowds, it was very much like they'd just be like at the front like just shouting stuff and just being weird, and I was just like, oh, awkward. Yeah, but oh well, character building.
We've used that phrase quite a lot on the show, but I suppose that is like some actual character building.
Yeah,
having to deal with such shit, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it's not nice, but it's one of them as well. Like, I mean, it shouldn't happen, but realistically, like, all you can do is talk about it and just like make people aware that it does happen.
Yeah.
So,
do you do many acoustic gigs still now, or
not really?
Just more band stuff? Like?
I always wanted to do band stuff, but it was just kind of like because I'd just moved from Anglesey to Manchester, I didn't really know many musicians, and I'm glad I did it because it just like really gave me confidence as an artist and stuff. And yeah, but I like loud guitars.
Yeah.
So,
except for when they cut out on stage.
oh yeah, like that gig that
Yeah.
Not my first gig with a band. Just, yeah. There's nothing worse though when like something breaks on stage, like in like the first song, and you're like,
yeah. I've got a whole set to go yet.
No, I know, horrible. Or like you can't hear yourself properly or something, or and it's like.
Like I say, it is part of learning to deal with anything that kind of comes up and that you're not expecting as well. It's learning to deal with that and not letting anyone else know that shit's happening on stage.
100%, yeah. Or like just like I've had so many gigs where I've just lost my voice on stage because I've been ill.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh yeah, I'm fine to sing, and then like 3 songs in, I'm like, I'm squeaking. But yeah, it's just like learning to adapt and stuff. I think like, you know, there's pros and cons to everything. So yeah.
So what does the next 12 months look like for Megan Wyn?
Very busy this year. Got some festivals and stuff lined up already, which are not announced, so I can't say anything.
That's all right.
I hate that. I just want to tell everyone. I've got loads of new music that I'm really, really excited about, and got loads of new shows with my new band. Got some headline shows as well.
Decent.
Can't tell where they are.
That's all right. To be fair, by the time this comes out, you'll probably have announced them all. So I'm sure people will.
Well, I'm going.
No.
But yeah, I'm really excited. Like, I've just, like, I think this year's like this is the most excited I've been about my music yet.
Amazing.
Which is a big statement.
Lovely.
But I'm just really excited. Like, I feel like I found my feet properly now. So I'm like, I've got like the right team and right band around me, and yeah, it's all exciting.
Oh, good.
So
lovely.
Looking forward to everyone hearing the new songs.
Usually at this point in the show we have a little sing song, but you've got
I've got
Fire. Yeah.
Ooh,
Dreaming of Citra had the same. It was,
next time.
It was about,
next time.
But yeah, no. Thanks for coming down.
Me.
Yeah,
that's all right. I
really
really enjoyed
Very
this.
fun.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's been really good.
Yeah.
Series finale.
The series finale. Yeah.
Done and dusted.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
This has been season 2, episode 8
That's mad.
of the Beatroots podcast.
Yeah. People actually listen to it as well.
I love that.
Yes. Thank you, 2 people.
Your mum and dad.
It's not even them.
No.
Real fans.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to season 2. If you liked what you saw or liked what you heard, then please give us a like, give us a subscribe. Season 3 is on its way.
Hopefully. Yeah. Go and follow everyone as well that's been on the pod. So
100%.
I'm not going to insult anyone by trying to rattle off all the names that we've done because I'll forget someone. But yeah, it's been nice to have everyone down and have a chat, and hopefully everyone comes and listens or follows you or follows us. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And good luck for the next year.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.